What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm taking a look at American Star. This was made available for my consideration for the awards season. They're running a FYC campaign for Ian McShane. This film does have audio description. It's IFC, so I think if you tried to follow the pathway, it would go to AMC Plus where it wouldn't have audio description, and then to Hulu later on where it probably will. It's kind of a coin toss, but IFC's actually been pretty good about pushing their audio description to Hulu. So if you're trying to figure out when can I see what you just saw, that would be when Ian McShane plays a man who they actually don't reveal his name until substantially far into the movie. They're trying to keep him as sort of a man with a very particular set of skills that he's achieved over a long period of time. And he's been given a task, a certain job. It's pretty clear from early on, I would say within the first couple minutes. I'm trying to avoid what would seem like huge spoilers, but you do see him pretty early on. He's just kind of like driving around looking for something, and you see him with a gun pretty early on. He breaks into a house and he's like wiping down handles and doors, and so you get an idea that he's an assassin, like a hitman. You don't need much uh, confirmation on that, but we don't necessarily know why. We don't know who he's been sent to kill, and that's sort of is where American Star leaves you, is with that question mark as it develops the story where Ian McShane, he can't complete the job for whatever reason at the time. He calls the person who gave him the job and says, something else happened, which something does, but you don't know whether or not it's related or not. And then he just kind of like hangs out with the locals, checks out the local scenery, the bars, the people, gets kind of involved in that, meets a girl, spends some time just sort of like locally hanging out, waiting for whatever he's supposed to do. And the question is, will he do it? And who is it? What is the information? And that's the kind of stuff that would land in spoiler territory that I don't want to talk about. Really, they want us to talk about Ian McShane anyway, because that's what the FYC campaign is for. I think IFC is pretty secure that this film isn't really going anywhere other than for Ian McShane. So I think it's a nice performance from his, but I think I've seen stronger performances this year, performances that have resonated more with me, that have hit me in the feels, and there are even some performances left that I haven't seen yet from films that are getting that level of praise. So I don't see him necessarily making that list, but it's a fine performance. I like Ian McShane as an actor, and I would love for him to have the right role, but this doesn't feel like the right role to me. This just feels like, I think of myself as a Brian Cox enthusiast, and it kind of feels like he did, he does films all the time. It would be like if he had a film earlier this year, like Little Wing and Mending the Line, and he was good in both of those. It'd be like if I tried to mount a campaign for him for one of those, it doesn't mean he's not good. He's not good in those films. It's just, is that his best work? Is that what I want him to win the Academy Award for? Or do I want do I want Hollywood to shape a role around him, much like he got with Succession with Logan Roy? Just such an excellent role. And that's what Ian McShane has had on two series with Deadwood and American Gods, is that he's had two opportunities to be sort of like iconic and excellent in every way, especially on Deadwood, which is sort of what I go off of when I'm thinking about Ian McShane and his potential and range as an actor. I think, does this live up to anything I've seen him do before? It's a quieter performance. It's more introspective. But the odd thing was, it reminded me of some other films where you take somebody who isn't really from where they are, and you put them there, and so it didn't necessarily resonate in that whole man with a certain particular set of skills genre, like a Liam Neeson movie. Honestly, the film that came up in my mind the most was Hologram for the King, the Tom Hanks movie, where he's in the middle of the desert trying to sell something, you know, trying to make something happen. And two totally different films, but tonally, this one is, they kind of match. They kind of are just sort of about being out of place in a different place. And what do you do with that? And do you enjoy the time? Do you enjoy the life? Do you meet new friends, make new friends? But the thing that's different here is there's this darkness that's hanging over the film, which was, well, he was sent here to kill somebody. Is he actually going to do that by the end of the film? So um, you're just going to have to watch and find out if you want. I think this is fine. I think IFC has had some really strong films this year, especially when you also blend in the stuff that they've produced through Shudder. I'm a, like, as of this recording, Ghostlight is still my favorite movie of the year, which is an IFC release. So if they're worried about me not liking this, don't be, because currently my favorite film of the year is an IFC film. Just like last year, I really loved Blackberry. So they seem to have a film every year that resonates with people, but seems to always miss out on awards. There's something that's missing in their awards consideration bin that's just not happening for their movies. And I also really liked, Oddity and Late Night with the Devil, a few other of their projects this year. But yeah, American Star is available out there. The audio description was okay. It was okay. I didn't have any. There's nothing really to write home about. I kind of, if I'm going to be honest, it sounded like at first I felt like I was being described like a desert landscape, and I got confused as to where we were. Uh, and then I realized I was on a completely different continent. So wasn't exactly where I thought we were, but I don't know that the film isn't like that disorienting wise, because once I realized where we were, I was like, I guess there's desert too. There's that dry, arid sort of landscape looking thing with like sagebrush and stuff like that they describe in the movie. But I just went in a different direction with it. So that's on me. Sometimes I'm like, was that my fault, or was it the description's fault? I don't know. But that's again why I compared it to Message from a King. Not Message, Hologram for a King. So that's it. I'm gonna give American Star a B-. I think it's fine. I think if you like Ian McShane, you'll like this. I just don't think he's gonna really get a whole lot of traction for this. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.